Want to grow your wealth? We make finance and the stock market easy. Grow your wealth with AI. For the best financial content, subscribe to the Dollar Explainer.
Let's address the elephant in the room right away. Are we really telling people they can take a single dollar bill today and have $1 million by next month? Absolutely not. Mathematically, it is completely impossible. Anyone selling you a course on how to flip a dollar into $1 million in 30 days is lying to you. So why use the $1 benchmark at all? Because that dollar is a symbol. It represents starting from absolute zero. We're talking about the roadmap for someone with no trust fund, no massive seed capital, and no rich uncle to bail them out. The instinct for a lot of beginners starting there is to either save every single penny, like cutting out their morning coffee, or just pray they hit the lottery or go viral. And that is exactly what keeps them broke. You cannot budget your way to wealth on a minimum wage salary, and waiting around for a lucky break is a terrible financial strategy. To actually get off the ground, you have to completely abandon that lottery mindset. Financial liftoff requires deliberate, strategic skill building. You need leverage, not luck. What is step 1? If I have zero capital, what do I actually do today? You acquire high-income skills. You need a way to generate initial cash flow that relies entirely on your brain, not your bank account. Right, and historically that meant taking on debt for expensive degrees. But now we have AI. Exactly. Free and low-cost AI tools have completely dismantled the old barriers to entry. You can learn to automate workflows, generate digital copy, or build modern websites using platforms that cost nothing. Once you have that skill, you trade it. You find businesses with inefficiencies, and you use your newly acquired AI leverage to solve their problems for a fee. That is the side hustle phase. It sounds like you're grinding for that early cash. You have to. Your first $1,000 is always earned through active labor and leverage technology. You aren't passive investing yet because you simply have nothing to invest. So the side hustle is working. We're making a few $1,000s a month. But doing freelance AI work all day won't mathematically get us to $1 million. There's a ceiling, a strict ceiling. There are only 24 hours in a day, and eventually you run out of them. This is where almost everyone fails. They get that first major profit and buy a luxury watch or a nicer car. The money stops there. An entrepreneur takes that exact same profit and feeds it directly back into the business engine. So where specifically does that money go? You buy premium software upgrades to work faster. You build out professional infrastructure. And most importantly, you hire people to handle the low-level tasks. You are buying back your own time. It's like Jeff Bezos in the early days of Amazon. Perfect example. Wall Street wanted Amazon to show a profit, but Bezos refused. He took every single dime of revenue and funneled it right back into expanding warehouses and massive server capacity. He starved his own early payouts to guarantee massive future growth. To break the six-figure mark, you have to treat your early cash flow strictly as a tool for scaling. It is never a personal reward. So the business is scaled, you have a team, but how do we make that final jump? How do we cross into seven-figure territory without working around the clock? You introduce the final wealth lever, compound growth. You take the excess profits your business is throwing off, and you park them in passive market vehicles. This chart explains the math perfectly. Your labor income, even with a great business, eventually plateaus. But when you continuously funnel those excess profits into the market, you create a second exponentially curving growth line. That specific point is the transition into true autonomy. Precisely. That is the threshold where capital begins multiplying independent of human labor. Your money is now doing the heavy lifting that your time used to do. But we aren't talking about gambling on random crypto coins or meme stocks here, right? No. You take high risks in your business because you control the variables. In the market, you want certainty. Broad index funds and quality equities provide steady, reliable compounding without the risk of wiping out your hard-earned capital. Making that final leap to $1 million requires a complete identity shift. You have to stop acting like a business operator and become a capital allocator. We need to set some realistic expectations here. We've laid out the steps, but this is a long haul. It is a decade-long game. Going from $1 to $1 million requires extreme patience. It is a slow, steady progression. The reality is, wealth building is mostly boring. Relentless consistency during those quiet, unglamorous months of putting your head down and working is the single habit shared by every self-made millionaire I know. which means binge-watching finance podcasts without actually doing anything is essentially useless. It's worse than useless. It creates a false sense of progress. Passive consumption without physical action leads to permanent financial stagnation. All this theoretical knowledge we just discussed, it is financially worthless unless you attach it to a strict, immediate timeline for execution. Let's give them that timeline right now. Let's lay out a 30-day action plan to move from theory into immediate execution. Week 1 is for technical mastery. Select one specific AI platform or digital skill, like automated data analysis or copywriting, and master its application completely. Week 2, you launch. Take that skill, package it into a digital service, and start pitching clients. Spend $0 doing this. Weeks 3 and 4, prepare for the profits. Open a brokerage account today. Even if it sits empty for a month, you are establishing the mechanical habit of automating your future savings and investments. Because true financial freedom hits the exact moment you rewire your brain. It happens the second you stop looking at your first dollar as money to spend and start treating it as a seed to plant.